Mike. Congressman Peter King, a ranking member of the Homeland Security Committee, is at odds with the Obama administration. He says New York is not the place to put terrorists on trial. The Republican congressman says this week's sentencing of failed Times Square bomber Faisal Shahzad was a stroke of luck. But he says that may not be the case when self-proclaimed mastermind of the 9/11 attacks, Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, goes on trial in Lower Manhattan. Congressman Peter King joins us this morning from Massapequa Park, Long Island. Congressman, nice to have you with us. Why do you believe New York can't handle these high-profile terrorist cases?
Well, I think New York can handle it, but it would be extreme expense, hundreds of millions of dollars in extra police security. In addition to that, it would lock off entire parts of Lower Manhattan. It would have an extraordinary impact, for instance, on Chinatown, on the merchants down there. And in addition to that, it makes New York even more of a target than it is now. So to me, there's absolutely no reason to have them here. In addition to that, I believe that a military tribunal is the right place to try these types of terrorists, as we saw in yesterday's case, or in the decision yesterday on the Giuliani case, where the judge is not allowing very, very vital evidence into the case.
Yeah, everybody's talking about this Giuliani case, that it's not going to, well, they have problems when their key witness can't testify because what? The judge ruled his testimony was gained through coercion?
What he's saying was actually he said that Giuliani was coerced, and when Giuliani was coerced, he mentioned Bibi's name, and so even though Bibi was not coerced, even though Bibi wants to testify, the judge won't allow him because he said that the government originally became aware of Bibi through their interrogation of Giuliani when he didn't have his Miranda rights. So, you know, we are in a war, and when a person is captured on the battlefield, the last thing that anyone's thinking of is putting him on trial. What you want to do is get as much intelligence, as much information as you can to avoid another attack in case there's anybody else involved in the conspiracy.
So you think, so Congressman, you think their constitutional rights should be eliminated?
I believe that a foreign terrorist who was captured is not entitled to the same constitutional rights as an American citizen. And in every war, we have used military tribunals, which allows the judge the discretion to use common sense, not using a constitutional right of against self-incrimination or Miranda warnings, but the judge can decide whether or not he believes the evidence is valid, whether or not the evidence should be brought in. It gives the judge more leeway. And to me, that's what we need. This is not a regular civilian case. We're at war.
All right. A lot of people are a little angry with you this morning because yesterday you said that Faisal Shahzad's conviction was luck. A lot of law enforcement who work very hard, and I know that you know that they do, keeping us safe on the streets of New York, feel a little incensed that you would say this was luck. They feel it was good work.
Well, first of all, there's no cop who has said that to me at all. In fact, most of them agree with me. What I said was, and I stand by it, is that under the orders of the Attorney General, they had to give Miranda warnings right away to Shahzad. Luckily, Shahzad kept talking. If he had exercised his rights and not spoken and not given evidence, they would not have been able to get the conviction the way they did. No, the police and the FBI did a phenomenal job. But what was wrong was when the Attorney General told them they had to advise him of his Miranda warnings, if he had at that moment said he was not going to say anything, the police and the FBI could have done nothing whatsoever. That's the luck. The FBI and the cops did their job. It was the Attorney General, I think, made a terrible mistake. And luckily for him, Shahzad, for whatever reason, kept talking. But by the way, in this case, if there's anyone who should be angry, it should be the NYPD and the FBI at the White House, which did leak out very, very sensitive information during this entire investigation, which almost allowed Shahzad to escape.
Well,
so I have not heard anybody...
Congressman, the Obama administration, I know you heard their statement yesterday. They're saying basically he's right, meaning you're right, that we got lucky on this conviction, lucky that his constant leaks didn't jeopardize the entire case. So the Obama administration is pointing the finger at you.
Absolutely. And whoever said that is either a liar or a moron. I think it was John Brennan in the White House. I obviously never leaked anything. The leaks in that case, and the FBI had to investigate it, were leaks coming from the White House, which compromised the investigation here in New York. And you can talk to any ranking police official in New York, and they will tell you that information leaked by the administration during that investigation put the lives of police officers at risk, lives of the FBI at risk, and almost allowed Shahzad to escape. The reason I couldn't leak or anybody else couldn't leak, even if we wanted to, the White House put an iron curtain down. No information come out. They were constantly leaking. The nationality of Shahzad, the whereabouts of Shahzad, they had actually tipped off television trucks to be there at his home when they expected the big capture and the arrest to happen. Instead, because of that, he was tipped off, and he almost escaped, got to the airport, got on the plane. That is the White House, that is the administration. They are the ones who leaked. They're a disgrace, and I put that on the feet of John Brennan, who to me should be fired and removed as head of Homeland Security in the White House.
Let me ask you one more thing. The U.S. Attorney Eric Holder it looked like at one point that he was going to take the 9/11 terror trials away from New York because it was, everybody in the community is very upset that they're coming here. But we've heard nothing more from the Attorney General. What is going on there? Where does this stand?
The administration is being very cowardly on this. Last November, they said the trials were going to be held. In February, they said they were backing away from that. They're not making a decision. I assume they're waiting until after election. I know when Rahm Emanuel was in the White House, he had told me he was on my side. He was against the trials. I think Eric Holder wants to have them in New York. Eric Holder is absolutely committed to it. The president, for whatever reason, is not willing to stand up to Eric Holder. So I think the people of New York should be very apprehensive, very concerned. The fact that this administration, I believe, owes it to the people of New York to come forward. They don't have the guts to do it. And all I can say is they're hiding something. And unfortunately, we're not going to find out until after Election Day. But to have that trial in New York will be the worst decision any attorney general has ever made, to go ahead and do it without ever consulting the police commissioner, without consulting federal court security. Just go ahead and schedule that, say he wants to have it here in New York, then seem to back away and then go into hiding for a year, to me is absolutely disgraceful.
Congressman Peter King, please, thank you so much for being on Good Day New York this morning. Appreciate it.
I think you'd rather be talking to Carlos Beltran than me, but so would I. So there you go.
All right, we'll talk to you later, Congressman King.
Okay, thanks, Carlos.
Good Day New York coming right back with Carlos Beltran in the 9 o'clock hour.